I'm Caroline, and today we're going to make some simple Christmas trees from a variety of different art supplies. Now, these Christmas trees are easy. They're also the sort of thing that with most of them you can use things you have around the house. You don't have to go out buying specially. Things like this glitter foam sheet, you may need to buy these in if you want to do that particular project. But this is just some beads I had in my old Christmas decorations, bits of lace from my collection of lace bits and pieces, some thin cardboard that I've made into little cones. I've got some paper here, but you can use any paper you have around the home, even Christmas wrapping paper, so keep all your little scraps. And I've got some popsicle sticks. These are big fat ones. Well, I'm really excited about making these Christmas trees, so no time to chat. Let's get on with crafting. For this Christmas tree craft, I've chosen some lovely Christmas papers in like a dulled country style colour theme, but with a nice bright one too, in the biggest size. I've got this picture frame that I've dismantled from something else that I've made, and I'm also going to use some of these big lollipop sticks or popsicle sticks. The first thing I need to do is tackle this frame. It doesn't look very good, and it doesn't look very primitive farmhouse either, so I'm going to darken it down with a bit of dry brushing. So I'm going to use some raw sienna, and then using a dry brush technique, which is, well, everything it says. It's a brush that's quite dry. I'm just going to streak some of this on. You don't want complete coverage. You just want to make it a bit streaky. This is the sort of thing, if you get it wrong, you haven't got to worry. You can come back over it with whites, or we'll be using some darker colours. You can come back over with those. And if you find at this stage you've been a bit heavy-handed, out with a wet wipe. And just clean it back off before it dries and then carry on. Now I'm using quite a soft brush. Really, the ideal thing is to use one of these hog hair or whatever they are, the white, really bristly ones. They make a much nicer job of this. But I don't have one, so the softer one will do. Well, I do have one somewhere, but I can't find it. Mix in some dark. I'm using black. You may have a darker brown. And it doesn't matter if you're not perfectly mixed in, because you're not looking for perfect, clear, defined edges with this. After you've mixed it, it's very difficult to get a dry brush. I'll wipe it off with my wet wipe. Save some time. And now I'm going to very lightly go over the top again. You may find when you're doing this that, I don't know, it's just not looking right. What I suggest you do, next time you're out in one of these fancy high-end stores, or even something like B&M Bargains nowadays, have a look at their country-style frames, and I wouldn't mind betting that their frames are looking the same as yours, if not worse. Some of the jobs I've seen on them are awful, but we get drawn in by the image that's in the middle, the complete package, and they go, oh, that is perfect. But it's not as perfect as you first observe. And if this is too perfect, it doesn't have that primitive look to it either. Which is brilliant, because then if you're not the most accurate of painters, or you're just getting started on this, then you've got a brilliant excuse for it not being perfectly painted, because that's not the style you're looking for. Now do this as much or as little as you think suits your project. I want about that much, and I want it to be that rough. So you can see it does look quite primitive. I can see it's difficult when you're doing this on camera. You can't see what you've missed. Missed a little bit up there that I need to darken down a bit. If you really want to embrace the primitive look, you can get a hammer and you can bash all around your frame too to make it look really tatty. But now this looks like there are years and years of paint and dust and things all building up in it, different layers. And it does look rather nice, but we need to let that dry. While that's drying, I'm bringing in this baseboard. You can see it is very well used. It's got several layers of glue on it. Out with my glue stick. You can glue to the paper, but I find it less messy to glue to the board, and then you know you're right to the edges of where you want to be. You can use tacky glue, you can use white glue. You can use a glue gun, but I find it's very difficult to get the paper to lay flat if you've used a glue gun, even though that is by far the fastest method. And then, to save your time, line it up with 2 edges. And then you've only got to cut 2 edges. Otherwise, you've got to cut 4 edges. Plus, it's a bit of a waste of paper. I do like to use every bit of paper that I can. If you've got one, give it a run over with a bone folder. Turn it over and trim the edges. You can see here I got some pieces of the popsicle stick ready cut. 5 inches, 4.5, 4, 3.5, 3, 2.5, 2, 1.5, and I need a 1-inch piece. It's very difficult to cut the smaller pieces, so I measure up 1 inch, draw my line, just to try and keep it fairly straight. Oops, just to try and keep it fairly straight on the edge. And when you're cutting, go as far back with your scissors as you possibly can. It's less likely to split, but I get the feeling this is going to split. What I think I'll do is I'll cut it there and then come from this side, and I'm hoping that where there's less of it, if you see what I mean, it won't be as likely to split. No, I can feel it split. It's only split in one place, so I'll be okay there. So that one's 1 inch, so there you have the basis of your Christmas tree. I thought these papers were really suitable for a primitive style tree. I love the muted tones on them. I think that one may be a bit jazzy, so I may leave that one out. Out with the glue stick again. I think we'll start off with a darker tartan piece of paper. Glue the popsicle stick. Pop it into place. And then you find out you're actually using 2 pieces of paper. I've used the scissors this time because I want to show you, you don't need to be using a blade if you don't like it, if you don't feel safe, just use the scissors. So we got 1 bit done. And now, just come slowly up the height of your Christmas tree with a variety of papers. You can change the style, you can change the colour pattern, you can go for really jumbled up patterns, it doesn't matter at all. It's all down to what you fancy and what will suit your decor or the decor for the person you're making it for. If, like me, you've got a split stick, then try to hold them together as well as you can. But if they do split, just glue them in 2 separate pieces onto the paper and then push them into position, and the glue should glue them to the paper and give them a little bit more of a basis to hold. These are the bits of our tree. Now you've got 2 options. Well, you've got 3 options. You can leave them as they are. You can sand down the edges with a sander. That is very time consuming, and you may not have a sander, or if you've got problems with your hands, you may not want to spend too much time doing that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get up my ink pad and my inker. I'm just going to go around the outsides with a little bit of brown, and that will really age it nicely. And that way then as well, if like me, you just happen to have, as I've just spotted, left a little bit sticking down below the paper, and just dab it with a little bit of the brown. Now, I've just had an idea. Rather than have the lighter edges showing with the wood, I think it'll be more fitting with the project to darken the edges down to the sides rather than the edges. So we got darkened edges and darkened sides. Time to bring back the frame and the backboard. Pop this back in and turn it back over. Make sure, if you're going to be standing this, that this is the right way up. Not that I've ever made a craft and realised I've made it upside down. No, not me. Much. Right, so now this is going to look wonderful when I start putting these on. Look at that. You've got the darkened look of the primitive papers on the branches, but you've also got the lightness of the colour behind. Now, you may decide you want to put something more primitive looking, but I quite like this. Now, one of the problems you've got is spacing, so I'm going to use a spacer for putting them in just the right place. Move them down a bit more. Get some more popsicle sticks and decide how big a gap you want between each of these. So the first thing to do is to glue on your bottom piece. using 3 popsicle sticks, I line this up to the bottom like that, push it into place, and I'm going to use those 3 popsicle sticks all the way up to make sure I've got the same spacing. So move those out of the way a bit. Pop my popsicle sticks on and add another layer and keep working right to the top. I'd like to put a star on the top, but the only stars I've got are these, well, they're rather in-your-face stars. So out with the inker again. I'm just going to dull it down. Takes the edge off a little bit. Add an extra bit of hot glue because I never trust those little dots. And put that on the top of the tree. You could add some little pearl dots if you wanted to onto the top of there, or some other decorations. I want to keep this really simple and basic, so this really does look like a primitive style tree. You could use thinner popsicle sticks and put more twigs on all the way up. You could just colour the popsicle sticks with a little bit of different colour browns and a bit of a wash over the top of them, change their colour, or even use alcohol markers to do that. But this, I think, looks absolutely perfect. I was wondering what it would look like with the papers I chose, and I think they've come out very well. What do you think? Do you like it? This craft, I'm going to use this cardboard cone that I made from a little piece of cardboard. Obviously, it's a cardboard cone. I'll put a link at the end of this video to a video where I actually show you how to make these cardboard cones. They're really simple and they're really cheap as a Christmas tree base. I'm also going to use some of this glitter foam. Foamy-ran, I've heard it called too. I always call it glitter foam. And this is 2 inches wide. 3 strips like this should cover one of my Christmas trees, which is, out of interest, about 5 inches high. So fold it with the glitter side in. You can do it the other way, but I find it's easier to do this way. And then cut yourself some little strips, but don't cut all the way, just sort of to there. And if you're a very accurate, very efficient person, you could mark every, I don't know, half a centimetre, something like that, to get these all identical in size. You know me, I don't measure unless I really have to, so I'm just going to wing it. They're near enough, and when it's on the tree, you won't even see. This does take a little bit of time, but as long as you're not in a hurry, then you can enjoy the moment. Put some Christmas carols on, or your favourite Christmas movie. Just enjoy some mindless craft. You really don't have to think about this very much at all when you're doing this. It's always nice to have breaks in your crafting. Sometimes it can be very intense if you're trying to paint right up to edges or something like that. Cut out very delicate or very fussy items. But this is the sort of thing you can just relax. Then fold it the other way. Like that. And give it a bit of a press down, firmly all the way along. Out with your glue gun and put a run of glue down the one edge. I'm going to do it in 2 shots, otherwise the glue will be cool by the time I get to the other end and then it won't stick and I'll have to reapply it. Just press it into place. See, that's already cooled too much there. You can see there I cut a little bit too close. It'll be fine. Don't worry if you do that. Now, get your tree and you're going to put these with these bits, foldy bits, downwards. You can give them a bit of a push if you want to. Fatten them out a bit. Or you can leave them quite flat. I think they look nicer if they've been pushed a little bit. They're a bit more rounded. And then I'm putting these just hanging over the bottom a little bit. I did measure this, and in theory, I got enough to do this whole tree. In practice, I wouldn't hold my breath. You know me in measuring, we could be severely short. Let's find out. What do you reckon? Have I got enough or not? And when you've done the bottom layer, go up another layer. It's really easy. As long as you've got a cooler glue gun, I suppose it's the sort of craft that you could have children to help with. But I always worry about children with these high temperature glue guns because I burn myself badly on them. I wouldn't want to have a child burn themselves on it. You could put them off crafting for life because it really hurts. So you can see already, you're starting to get a very nice effect here. Just give that a little bit of extra gumption. Pop in some more hot glue on it. There's a possibility we'll have to join these mid-round, but at the moment I'm keeping these little bits because they will go further up. I'm hoping that we don't need to join any, but we will find out. The big day is fast approaching and we won't be doing any more Christmas craft then well, until July. We'll do Christmas in July next year. It's going to be really strange to put all my Christmas crafting things away and then start working on spring. Ooh, this is going to be tight. I don't know if I've got enough. Nope, I'm not going to make it, so I'm going to have to start another sheet. What would be your ideal gift of Santa this year? If you could have anything, what would it be? I don't know what it would be for me if I could have anything. Now I can carry on and I don't have to worry at all. I've got lots spare. I think. I hope so. It's surprising, isn't it? Just how much you use sometimes. I won't deny that this top layer is very difficult to get on. I'm not sure if there is a knack, but if there is, I haven't got it. At this point I end up with hot glue absolutely everywhere. That is looking pretty lovely, but we need to put something on the top. So I've got some little bits of silvery plasticky berry things. I thought these would look nice as a sort of tree topper rather than put a traditional star. And then I'm going to finish off around just underneath with, find the back, there's the back, finish underneath with a little bit of ribbon. And then, you know me, any excuse for a bow, so I think we'll add a bow. So there we got a really cute Christmas tree, very glittery. And you can do more to this if you wanted to add little beads onto it. You could put a string of lights around it, anything you fancied. If you're enjoying this video, then please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. That way then you'll get to see lots more craft ideas that I come up with. Right, let's get back to crafting. This is a cardboard cone I'm reusing from a different project. I didn't like the way it turned out. I've also got this piece of lace, vintage lace that I've used before. I'm going to use that. At the end of the day, if you're bored with your decorations, then change them up. So I'm just going to wind this around and around until we get to the top of the tree, gluing it into place as I go. Try to keep the bottom level, if you see what I mean. And that way then, when you put it down on the tabletop or whatever, you'll get a nicer skirt. After you've got past the base, you can make sure you leave about the same level of lace showing. Try to keep it a bit even, but don't worry if you don't get it quite right, it doesn't matter. And wind until you get to the top, as long as you've got enough lace. I'm cutting this fine, but I think we'll be okay. I'm always over-optimistic with how much materials I have to work with. Yes, we're going to be fine, she says. And wrap it around. And now you can see when you put it down, it's got a nice frilly bit on the bottom. The next job is to take a nice bauble-y, fluffy, floofy thing. I've got this, which is made of feathers. Cut the little hanger off it. Then I'm going to put some glue around there. And pop it in the hole. Like that. And then give it a shake. And it's nice and floofy. Now just to brighten it up a little bit more, I've got some pearls. They're jewellery beads. They're all crazy. Right, that wasn't a very good idea, was it? I thought, oh, I can hold the packet and cut the sellotape at the same time. No, I couldn't. So I've now got less beads than I did have. Never mind. And I'm just going to glue some of these to the tree, like a very expensive decoration. So there we got a lovely little mini flamboyant tree. I'm making quite a forest. For this craft, I'm going to use some themed Christmas papers. They came in a pack. I got them from the thrift store charity shop. And I picked some that go together nicely. And I'm using my paper cutter. I'm cutting them 1 inch wide. I'm not sure how many I'm going to need. So I'm going to cut 3 of each pattern that I've got. And then we'll work from there. When you're making craft with either handmade bases out of cardboard, or if like me you're going to use a bottle, they're not always going to be the same size as everybody else's, so I can't really advise you on how many pieces or lengths and sizes you will need. As always, I use on guesstimates, which quite often are not very accurate. Ooh, I'm living life on the edge now and trying cutting 2 at a time. I get the feeling I'm going to need more than this, but I'm going to make a start. I've got this bottle, came from the thrift store or charity shop. You can see it was 50p, they put a blue cross to it, so it was now 25p. The sticker doesn't want to come off, but I'm going to leave it there because you won't see it, hopefully. Next thing I'm going to do is fold these strips of paper in half. I think it's going to be easier than trying to measure each one of them, and it's actually coming out at 4 inches. It can be a lot faster doing it this way, even though it may not be quite as accurate. Now using hot glue, I join the top edge, fold it down by about 1/2 inch, glue that, and glue it onto the bottle. Again, coming quite close to the bottom so that when it comes out, it'll stick out rather than just be skirting the bottom, unless you want to do it perfectly matched up to the bottom. I'm going to just alter my order a little bit, like that. So we're not going to get 2 similar shades close together. And then carry on doing the same thing. start your next layer higher, but making sure you overlap the gaps as much as you possibly can. But you're not going to have as much space each time you go around, so you'll have less pieces to fit in, and you may need to juggle them about a little bit. Let's see how we get on. As you get nearer the top, you will need to do a few slits downwards in little pieces of paper, otherwise they won't stick to the bottle properly. They'll keep trying to pop up. When you get to the top, add a bit of twine to hide the messy bits. Now all you need to do is to add some suitable embellishment. And I'm going to go for something quite simple because I think it will match the style. So I've just got this little piece of holly, covered in hot glue already. I'm going to run some hot glue around the top there, pop it in place, and then the hot glue around the top will hold the leaves where I want them to be as well, like that. And there you've got a really easy to make, rustic looking, primitive looking Christmas tree, and you can use anything you like to make this, any bits of paper. You can even cut up magazines if you wanted to. You could paint some paper, you can dye some paper. You can even do this using the glitter foam sheets. So that's another tree done. This tree I'm going to use another cardboard cone, and I've got, this is, I think it's to decorate a Christmas tree with. It's not a special braid or anything, just plastic beads on a piece of string. So let's see what these look like wrapped around this tree. I think it could be interesting.
My ear, jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light, while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, a Merry Christmas Day.
I'm liking the look on this. Now I've done this before with bigger beads, and strangely I found those easier to keep evenly spaced. I thought it would be easier with a small one, but it isn't. But what this does do is give a lovely solid feeling to a flimsy bit of cardboard. That feels really high end. I'm going to stick a gold star on it. A blob of hot glue. And on it goes. And I absolutely love this. Well, that was such fun. I thoroughly enjoyed making these trees. Now, I know there's no colour theme, but you can change the colour for whatever you want to do for your particular colour scheme that you use your Christmas decorations for, whatever style, from the primitive style right up to the bling style. And you can even do these in a really modern look. You can use blue or purple, jewelled colours, whatever you fancy. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I'll see you all next time. But until then, don't forget, have fun. Bye.